Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and hello, Robin. Let's see what we got going on today. You can see here, dollar index kind of mixed. It was up a little bit yesterday. Now it's kind of flattish or unchanged, maybe up a tick or two. Nothing major there. As you can see on the beta platform, it's been in that long weekly sell, so it makes a lot of sense for us that it's been going down the way it's supposed to. Over on the other platform, let's take a peek at it. Oh, let's get the spreadsheet up there too. There's a spreadsheet. And on the other platform, same situation. You see it right there, a little tighter. And you can see the dollar index, where is it at? Right there. 7 weeks now on a weekly sell, going on an 8th week, and we're 10 days in a sell. The product has been finding ways to go down. Exactly. And as far as we're concerned, as we usually try to explain to you in a very simple term, if it's 1.00, that's fair value. If it's at one, in this case here, it's at 1.0, it's a 1.745. So 1.00.0 is fair, balance, and it's just a little overbought, nothing major. It's been trading overbought most of the time. Seems to only find its way down into the 94s or 95s for a little bit and then turns around and goes back up again. But so far, this time it seems to have found some really good resistance in that 105.5 to 106.5 area. And, came down from that area. It was up around the 105. You can see it right here. It went into the weekly sell right in this area here, right up at that 105. And went into a daily sell and it had some downwardly pressure. Tried to pop up, but we were in a weekly sell at that point, so we were just waiting to see for the next sell. We got one there, and that was the real winner chicken dinner. All right. When it comes to what's going on in the news today, it seems to be more politics than it is anything else. The interest rate cut seems to be coming around the corner. It's a choice between a quarter point or a half a point. I say it'll be a quarter. That's my point. At first I thought maybe they would drive it into the half, but I don't know. We'll have to see more data, and if they make the data look ugly, that might open the doorway for a half a point, but I think the market will be a little nervous. I know that the futures contract in Chicago is kind of pointing at a more than a quarter. It's right around a half. I think it's at 3 points. It's like 3/8 basically. So they're not really sure. Like anything else, it's the market. Someone finally mentioned. I heard somebody mentioned, I guess was it last night or yesterday after the webinar, about the idea that they were saying stuff like, the Fed started to say this stuff in November of last year, and it's like almost 10 months. I think they must be listening to our webinar because that's what we were talking about yesterday. I was like, yeah, that's good. Remind people, will you? Somebody remind people. And but they were saying, and now finally it's going to happen. Victor, hey Victor, how you doing? So that would be nice to see. Let it play itself out. In other words, let's see how they do cut the rates. We know that rates go up and down. Inflation is always here. It's rare to see inflation going down. Like minus. Inflation minus is very rare. You're good. Excellent. Excellent. It looks like the Israelis got themselves another hostage back home. Interesting. It's a headline all of a sudden on the Financial Channel there. Okay. So, I was a little surprised to actually see crude oil lift the way it did. But I guess, with the turbulence in the Middle East, it kind of makes things a little nervous, and So they drove oil up into the 78s. Let's take a look at the oil. Right. There it is. No, that's the wrong one. That's the euro. Right there. There's oil. They drove it up to just a little underneath 78, and now they're dipping a little bit. I mean, you can see we went into the daily buy there on Friday, and finally jumped in. We had this green and red telling us some action's coming, and boom, it came. It's I remember the September contract being in a buy, but the October contract was lagging and it was dragging its feet, and so they're just kind of waiting, looking, hoping, I guess, to see peaceful things occur. And if they do, then what happens? The oil gets down, or when Mr. Trump gets back into office, the oil comes down in price. We're going to be producing like 16 million barrels a day, so we're going to become the swing state, and that's brings down prices here. Someone has shown all the products that come from oil. I think it's Larry Kudlow, and he has a financial show on business, Fox Business, and it's like over 260 products that we consume throughout the day or week that oil is in. So I mean, that's part of the inflation problem. That is the inflation problem. The inflation problem is because it's expenses, and trucking it, bringing it to where they deliver it. It's just like all kinds of things like that in plastics, and just all kinds of different things it's in. So that really pushes prices up when you have a couple hundred products that are dependent on oil itself, and they don't seem to be able to replace it. So there's that's kind of like a jump from one to the other. We'll get back to that a little later on. Let's go over to the currencies, unless someone wants to see something, and then we'll gladly jump in and talk about that. There's the euro. Euro sold off a little bit yesterday, but didn't hurt the algorithm. It's in that weekly for a while there. And you can see it just a little bit weaker today. No. We always like to call that conviction. There's not a lot of conviction to change the direction of the product. You can see since the 107 area down in here, 108 area, and now we are at the, I guess, what is that? Is that the high is 112.10. So it's gone about 4 full handles, which is pretty good inside that weekly buy that occurred back in here in the mid 170s. This is in that week there, and I guess it's like right there. So, they went down, tested it, and came back up, and threw themselves into a buy, and it's been that way ever since. And that's what the spreadsheet, which is highlighted right now, reflects it. So it's today's the 12th. Today is the 12th day in a buy right there, as you can see. That doesn't matter. I'll just go like that. There we are. So it's 7 weeks in a buy, going on an 8th week, and we're talking today is the 12th day in a buy. You can see the histogram is turning up. The green line is turning up. So obviously, I don't think they're unless they bang it away. And I think we have data tomorrow, and I know we have NVDA coming out. That's going to excite the markets. Excuse me. Let me get a sip of water. The NVDA, the options are reflecting a 9%, $9 move. $9 move. Or is it a 9% move? I think it's a 9% move. They're projecting there could be up or down 9%, which is cool. That'll give those traders some fun in the pit. Bring in some buyers and sellers, try to buy on the bid, sell on the offer, action, ACTION. Huh. All right, now from there, let's take a look at the cable There it is right there, the cable. Ooh, even stronger still. Acting well. And that on the spreadsheet is just above it, and it's the 12th day in the daily buy, going on the 13th today. And it was, the fear of some type of unrest didn't play out throughout this whole slide here. And that's what we thought was it all about. We went into the sell, and then finally it got into the weekly sell. Somewhere's back in here somewhere. You know, it would be right here. Got into the weekly sell, and what did we do? We went to a daily buy. So in other words, the markets anticipated the disturbance of what was going on in England and possible civil war situation, and then it obviously died. In other words, it didn't happen. And so you can see it. 12 days ago, now 13 days back, they threw it in the daily buy, and it's been climbing from the 126 area to the 132 area. I guess that's what it is. Let's see. Where was it that day? Right there. 127.65 area. Right there. And now we're at the 132. So it's 4.5 points, something like that. And it's been an interesting little ride. Cable looks kind of firm. It's surprising that they even sell it at times. I myself think that there's no reason to sell it, but I kind of think that I think they want to move out of the dollar a little bit. If Trump wins, which I think he's going to do, then he's going to ignite the global economy for the better and more profitable. So, that's to me, it all looks like anticipation. Now, the markets were climbing before they pushed Joe out. So they were expecting Trump to easily walk in. And right now, no numbers have really changed except for one number. They keep on saying there's 48% support now for Kamala, when no more than 4 weeks ago it was at 38%. So, not sure a 10% jump was real. But only time will tell us at this point. Only time will tell. So from there, we'll slide over to the Swiss. Right there, there's Swiss. Looks like it's going to go after that low there. They've done as best as they can to fight inflation. Done a good job. Makes me feel that we should have some Swiss bankers at the Federal Reserve, because they seem to know how to do it right. They didn't come up with any strange... matter of fact, I'm going to stop myself there. They don't come out with any strange sayings, because, I understand on Friday, I did not watch, I read Mr. Bernanke, was it Mr. Powell's Wyoming, Jackson Hole speech. But he actually made jokes of himself about thinking that inflation was transitory and was sorry that he did, and just trying to clear history up, I guess, rewrite it in some way, I don't know. But in the end result is that now he feels more comfortable, and he realizes, he'll follow the numbers more and take things more serious. Isn't that nice? Isn't he just fun? I have to giggle at that. I think I'll have a sip of water for that. There we go. So, what else we got going on here? So from there, as yesterday, we looked at the yen as we usually do. Right there. And, the yen, interesting, and I guess that's just right underneath the Swiss. Where's it at? There it is right there. So you can see the yen, 6 weeks in the sell, 6 days in the sell. Today's the 7th day, and we're working on the 7th week. And, I guess, now that the Federal Reserve has helped them get out of that $20 trillion pair trade, Maybe this is going to help them grow again. I don't know. Anything's possible. We'll see. This is election time over there, and actually, the two parties in particular that are looks like they're competing. The LDP has been in power for so long, but they have a woman running as the prime minister, and so does the opposition. So it's kind of it's a new dawn in Japan, I guess you could say. It's a new dawn. Women running the place. It'll be interesting to see how they do. All right. So from there, let's see. That's yen. Ooh, I forgot. Okay, here we go. The great experiment. Yesterday they made a new all-time high, and I don't think they closed it. Just a little underneath the closing high. The closing close the day before was 38.08 with a 38.11 high, and then yesterday the all-time high became 38.44, and the closing was not at 38.08 but at 37.99. So they took it down about 8 ticks. Right now they're still hanging there, as you can see, 37.99 and change. We expect to see it. Unfortunately, we think that it's going to try to fight its way up. It may take a little correction here, and as long as we're in that weekly buy and we're in a daily buy, my next fear is for the Turkish people is to see their currency trading in the high 30s, low 40s, like 31 and a half, 42 and a half, something like that, and then maybe it'll cool off and start to build a box like it did down in here, where it was trapped inside of a range for a while, and it was nice, and we were hoping that this would last for like another year, but it lasted just a month, and then started challenging everything. And boom, at the beginning of this month, they've taken it up from 36 to 38. That is just a tenacious move constantly. All right, and then from there we drift over to the South African rand. The rand has been trying to roll over for the last couple days. Went into that sell last Friday, but it hasn't really gone anywhere. And just like gold kind of popped up yesterday. Let's just show you gold. Gold. Right there. It popped up a little bit, traded a little bit higher, closed at another all-time high last night. And now today they're putting some pressure on it. Just a little, nothing major. And didn't take out the high there of... what was that? That was last Wednesday? Yeah, last Wednesday. Wednesday? No, last Tuesday. Last Tuesday it closed at an all-time high, and an all-time closing price, I guess. And it was very close if it wasn't. And then right there they made another closing all-time high, and then but didn't take. I'm sorry, all-time closing close. There's the all-time closing high right there. So that product just seems to find a way to constantly just hang out, show some firmness. South African rand keeps on trying to tell us that it wants to try to go up, and it's the gold is rand wants to gain against the dollar, and when it gains against the dollar, it goes down. So that's the direction. So in other words, there's less rand to a dollar. So that is the magic of the South African rand. It usually gives us a good flavor of the direction of gold and silver. Now, silver, on the other hand, in the September contract, is having a hard time getting over the 30. It's right there now at 29.99.5, and today's high is 30.07. Basically, it's been trying to lift up. And we're getting ready to start moving into the December contract. And there's the December contract trading about 37 cents higher. So it's trading now at 30.36. And just like gold, let me just see if we can do this. Let's put it up on the screen here. trading there. Futures, and we'll put silver up there, and let's take a look at the way the contango is in the futures contracts. You see here, you see the list of futures, and you can see the open interest and the volume and all that other stuff, and you can see September is still, trading 200,000 contracts. Open interest is 29,000 contracts. Now, that's a little interesting there. What's that all about? So yesterday's volume was 200,000, but they only have 29,000 in open interest. So they were really active. And was that November or December? It's December. Yeah, there it is. There's the December contract. Let's just see. Yeah, there's the December contract. It traded in volume 14,288. Is that right? No, I'm sorry. So it's 20,000. That's what that is. So volume was 20,000, and the open interest 29,000. Now yesterday, the December contract traded 14,000, and the open interest is 104,000. So we're starting to pay attention, and we're probably going to be switching that. Or as soon as the volumes switch, that'll show us the main front contract, and it should be over the next couple days. We'll see. We'll switch over to our December contract there. Now, when we look at gold, there's the gold, and we're following the December. Normally, we would be involved in the October contract, but notice the big difference. You're looking at 2,000 contracts traded in October, and has open interest of 54, almost 55,000 contracts. But the December contract became the lead month. And yesterday's volume was 63,000, going on 64, and the open interest is almost 500,000, 417,000. So the real volume is in the December contract. So that's really got my eye there, and we've been following that, and that's what we show up on the screen there. Let's just go back to it. Like so. There's that December contract, and so that's why we follow the front months. Whatever one's the most active front month, we try to follow it. And right now, gold is trapped like the way the South African rand is, kind of stalled the last couple of days in closing price, and gold has flirted with the all-time high, and then it's kind of stalled out again. We haven't seen any real crazy action. The Fed. The world central banks seem to keep all this stuff under control. They make sure that things don't get too nuts. They don't want money managers forcing sales of stock because gold is roaring up. It has to move up at a very slow, steady pace, and that's why we think silver is so far off the all-time high, or platinum is off enormously more of the all-time high. And that is so that the money managers don't come running in and start dumping stocks. That's the last thing they want them to do. What to do. Let's see what that is. I just got a text to see if it's anything important. No, nothing important there. Excuse me. Let's see. So now from gold, we'll go take a look at copper. See what copper's up there, and you can see it on the spreadsheet up here. Copper is 6 weeks in a sell, 2 days in a daily buy. So let's go put it up on the screen and see how accurate. How about yesterday? Excuse me. Let me take another sip of water. How we were looking at the wrong spreadsheet. We were looking at the April, not August 26, was it? Yeah, 26. So I thought, what did I do wrong there? I mean, I was like, after looking at the third product and it was way off, it's like, wait a minute, something's wrong here. And there's the copper going on a third day. Let's steal one of those buys down the road. And we are now in the December contract of copper too. Oh no, it's right. Okay, I see. Yeah, see right here we had a red and a green, and I'll just park that right over there in case we need it somewhere along the line. We had a red and a green, and so we thought it wasn't a sell. So I guess in essence, really, it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and so it's really something like 8 out of the last 10 days. That's what it really is. And on the old front month, September, did go into the sell, and that's what the thing represents. I should fix that because this way I don't have to explain it. So what do we have there? So that's 2, 4, and 6, and 8, 10, 11. So we're going to just make that 10. Let's try that again. 10 weeks in a buy. Because the switch, sometimes these back months do that too. We move them to the front month. Let's see, document opened really only mode. Okay, all right, no problem. We'll worry about that later. I'm going to but tonight, if it closes in a buy, it'll say 11 on it. Whereas in September, they did push it into the sell for a day. You can see it's climbing into the weekly. Oh, that's an interesting thing too. The weekly buy on the front month, it went into a weekly buy last week. Okay, so that's good. All right, so that'll be also changed on the spreadsheet because we're now looking at December versus September. And that's why it's important to stay with the open interest. And let me just show you on the spreadsheet, or not the spreadsheet, but show you what the contracts look like. Let's do this first. Go like this. Where's that mouse at? There it is. And put the copper in there. There it is. And we'll show it to you right there. And you can see, that in the copper, we have 14,000, almost 14,500 contracts traded. There's 30,000 open interest right there. But then we took a look at the December contract, and December contract traded twice the amount, almost 32,000. And the open interest is 122, almost 123,000. So we switched over to it pretty quickly instead of taking, I think one day we just sent out both, and then usually we jump from there. And in this case here, copper is definitely hot and heavy, and they've been trying to lift it up. I mean, it fell underneath the $4 area just like the September contract did, right there, and then climbed right into it went up in the wrong way, and then we finally got into the buy here, and so that was a loser right there, whereas it was a nice winner right here. So it made more than it lost, but that's the way it rolls around here. And then this was obviously another interesting one. It tried to get into there and it failed. So that's, it just tells you that the strength is kicking out. And now we're in the daily buy right here on a weekly basis. So it's catching that ride of where did it sell? It settled at $4.25, and we're at $4.29. So we're picking up 4 cents on that. So copper acting fairly well. Oh, I did mention last week there was a delegation that actually came through Washington. We haven't heard anything more about it. It was a Chinese delegation, and they were talking to Mrs. Yellen, and that is really the story that's going on right there, is that they're really pushing hard to help China. They're probably lending them money in the overnight window, that type of thing. And, because we've seen where, I should have put up our other beta. Let's just take a look and see where, what are they doing to the Shanghai? Let's see what that's doing. World markets. There's world indices. And we've seen only a lot of pressure on a lot of these stock indices. Let's see if we can see the Shanghai index. the 00000 something or another. There it is right there. And that's the daily. I mean, that's the intraday. I'm sorry. Let's put up a 3-month. But it looks like it's a little bit more firmer. I guess it's unchanged. You see it right there. Down in that area. It's really dead down there. And there's probably great hope that the Federal Reserve and the Americans will lend them money and keep them from falling more apart, because they are having lots of problems there. They are like I always say they kind of like a colony of ours, or the way the Europeans had all those colony nations in Europe. We have seemed to have an enormous amount of trade with them, and they're not they're slave labor there and all that stuff, and it's a little weird because it seems to be breaking our laws over here at the same time. We're not supposed to buy from slave labor, but I don't know. Since they're communists, the Mr. Biden and Miss Harris are very into communism. They support it enormously. So, and that's not odd. I know people probably think, "Oh, what are you talking about?" Under President Roosevelt, Vice President Wallace was a registered communist. His vice president in office, not running for election, in office for 4 years, was a registered communist. And then, as Mr. Roosevelt looked like he was really getting sick, in 44, right before the election, they pulled him. And they removed the sitting vice president because they were concerned that Mr. Roosevelt would die and then we would have a communist as president of the United States. Mr. Roosevelt was more of a socialist, mild socialist type of thing, So, none of them worked, but, back then no one understood it more, because they really thought that the Soviet Union was very competitive and so forth. But in the end result is that Mr. Wallace was pulled as the vice president, removed, and they brought in Mr. Truman. They won the election by a hair, and Mr. Truman was the vice president. And then when he died in 45, about 3 or 4 months later, Mr. Truman took over as president instead of Mr. Wallace. And Mr. Wallace ran against Mr. Roosevelt. He quickly registered for the to be the communist candidate, and he was the communist candidate in 44, running against Roosevelt after being the vice president of Roosevelt. So it's not that far-fetched. The Democrat Party leans in that direction all the time. So it's not odd. It's not abnormal. It's just that they've gotten more extreme. That's all. So from there you can see the number one. I guess you could say the number one communist superpower in the world. I guess you could call it. For communism, that is. Is the stock market has been gliding down from the 3,200 area down to 2,800 area. So that's that is really the real dramatic moment. It's they and I saw a really odd. Let me show you this article I saw today. Again, not trying to be political, because remember, markets are governed by policies of government. Doesn't matter how much. I mean, free markets and free people, it's hard. So, in this case here, let's put it up on the screen. I saw this morning, which was really, really. Let's see if I can do it this way. And that's there. And then let me see if I can put it up. Nope, not there. Let's put it up. Where's that? There it is, right there. Will that do it? Yeah, that'll do it. So let's put this up on there. And let's see what we got here. So right there, and I'm going to put a story up there that we've been seeing, which is really surprising to me. I mean, I don't, it's a really harsh story too. It's got to do with Cuba, and I guess they're, I don't, we, as much as we're nearby Cuba, we don't really see a lot about Cuba. It's kind of like out there in the distance. But let me see. I'm going to find the story and bring it over to you. Where is it at? Not there. Not there. I'm getting close. I can feel it. Not there. We'll find it. There it is, right there. Got it. Here it comes. And right there. It's a nightmare in every direction in communist Cuba. Elderly left to struggle on $10 pension. And so it goes through all what's going on over there. No, matter of fact, most like Canadians and a lot of people go back and forth over there. It's a very cheap place to vacation. And all the airplanes fly in there and so forth. I don't think we really have much access here. I think we can fly into there, but Mr. Obama, he made it so we could access Cuba and abuse their poor tortured people. That's pretty much the only way to describe it. So supposedly the article was really harsh. It said something about the it said basically food, power, medical equipment, pharmaceutical shortages, protests this year, and driven Cuba's ongoing exodus of work-age adults. It's they're having problems in every direction. Remember, they used to have super medicine. They dedicated lots of money to medicine at one point, lots of money. Now they're not doing that anymore. Here it is. Most recently, he shipped healthcare items after his friends broke a leg. Oh my goodness. Of the retirement age himself, Sanchez has a close friend. Anyway, that just it's your classic problem when it comes to the what is it the economic system. That's what it really comes down to. Those economic systems don't work too well. As you can see, the stock markets around the world are all trying to push up towards their all-time highs. And when we go look at, let's put the all-time high is 50% away. It's like that silver situation we have going on, where silver's 48 or 44. I think it's like 44% away from all-time highs, where gold is sitting on the all-time highs. It's one of those things going on. And so for the stock industry they're like a bankrupt company. Or not a bankrupt company, but they're like a company that's having real issues. So, the all-time high is in the 6,000 area, and it's in the under the 3,000 area now. So not good, especially when the rest of the world is playing with all-time highs. All right, and then I doubt they even have a stock market. So from there, what we'll do is, what is that advertisement? Capital One. Huh. So there is the. See, let's move back over to the copper. Oh, I know what we'll do. We'll go to the platinum. Let's take a look at platinum. Now, platinum tried to pop up, has been trying to pop up for the last 3 days. Let's move it over to there. It's been trying to pop up for the last couple of days. It's playing with the weekly buy. And you can see there, platinum has been, where is it at on this thing here? Right there. 6 weeks in a sell. So we're actually flirting with, you can see the little green box around it. The weekly is trying it, just missed it last week. Jumped into the buy there on Friday. We just missed having that. The fast was in the buy for the last 2 weeks. So we are seeing some type of buying going on a longer term basis. But it's in the fast algorithm. So I mean that can shift like a fast machine out of nowhere. Then from there we'll jump over to, we saw oil, and we'll just take a quick peek again at oil. Oil's just unchanged from where we saw it a half hour ago. And then we go over to heating oil. You know what I'll do tomorrow? I will have the other beta up again, and we'll be able to take a look and see where they're putting where the weekly buy and sell is on what do you call it, on Brent. We'll take a look at Brent today too, but we'll look through the other chart system. Let's see. There we are. There we go. And you can see here heating oil has been trying to lift up just the same way as crude oil has for the last couple of days, but it's still missed the weekly buy and has dipped back down again. And you can see over here 3 green bars. Let's see, which mouse is it? Right there. You can see 3 green bars right here on the Brent. You know, it's been climbing for the last couple of days too. You know, they got the same chill. They both move together very well. You know, the West Texas or American oil follows the Brent, and the only difference is the cost of processing and transportation, that type of thing. So it's pretty steady, and it's probably more governed by interest than anything else than it is supply and demand, because they all just march together. And then from there, we go back over to the other platform again, and you can see natural gas, which we also switched contracts. We are now in the October contract there. And you can see it's been falling for the last 4 days. It's been in that weekly sell forever and ever and ever. 10, you know, when you get into the 10s, 11s, and 12s, to me that's, 15. Let's see, you divide 52 by 4, right? So 4 into 52 is basically like, 13, I guess you could say. It's like 13 and a half, something like that. So when we're in the 11th week now, you're talking about a quarter of the year this natural gas has been in a sell almost. In other words, if it closes in a weekly sell next week, that's the 12th. So 13 is like a quarter of the year. And that's a lot, a whole year. I mean, it's very rare to watch a product go so long. Now we've been seeing that same action on the commodities though too. You see gold on the spreadsheet. I'm highlighting it there. 12 weeks in a sell, not looking like it's going to have any real effect. In other words, that doesn't look like they're turning the corner there. Let's take a look at it on the beta. We can show you soybeans and corn on the beta, and it's really reflective of the action. Saw an article where it's a bumper crop. So, and here is the corn. Where are you, corn? Crude. There it is right there. There's corn. You see it's still drifting down, and it's like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This is the 14th week. So the beta put it in a weekly sell 13 weeks back, or 14 weeks back now. I know we've shifted contracts since then. So we moved out of the July contract into the was it now? We're in the September contract. And so let me just put it up on the screen here. Let's see, how do we do this? Go like this. We'll put a chart up there of it right now. Oh, you know what that is? That's the December contract. That's what that is. Okay. Yeah, so there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Right? And then, 12, 13, 4. Okay, so we're showing you, this is the September contract, and we really should be showing you the December contract. Let me see if we put that up there, because that's what we show, the December contract. And so what's that? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Same situation. Still same, lots of pressure. But it's not collapsing from the low fours. It's at the high threes now. That's all. And it's like the commodities, like natural gas, and crude oil and so forth. Soybeans, we're looking at the November contract. There's the hogs. There's the November beans. You can see on the spreadsheet there, that is 11, no, that's 12 weeks right there. They're 12 weeks versus the 11 weeks. No, we have 12 weeks in the corn. Oh, that's okay, so that's why we're just off 1 week. I'll have to fix that. And then the soybeans are 11 weeks in a cell. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, going on 13. So that's missing one too. So we should be at 12 going on 13, and corn should be 13 going on 14. So that's missing one contract. 1 week, that's all. And that's the pressure we see with that bumper crop going on, with soybeans. And then we can look at it also through the new beta right there. And then there is soybean. There it is. And there's the soybeans. You can see it's actually, the soybeans are trying to get into a buy now. You can see they're pressuring it. It went into a daily buy yesterday. I think we saw the same thing with corn too. Corn's doing the same thing. They're flirting with daily buys. I mean, I guess people are like, when we've come down from 12 down below 10, with a low of, was at 9.55 there. That low is 9.55 again. And that low there is 960. So they're trying to bottom fish, I'd imagine. It's a $2 move. It's a big move in in the soybeans, the way the markets have been. So wouldn't be surprised if we see some bottom fishing in here. And the weekly, I think, is trying to turn up. You can see that, but not by much. And then when we go and look at it on the our platform, I shouldn't have closed that. I was thinking that when I closed it, I thought, you shouldn't close that. Don't close that. There it is right there. And there it is right there. You see, it's not the most explosive action. Yep. And that is the magic of, the commodities in a sense. They're feeling that same pain as everything else. Gold is like the only thing that's, gold and stocks are going up. Crude oil is very firm the last couple of days. You literally have to fly 100 planes and bomb a country to get it to move. So it's kind of mild, I guess you could say. All right, and then from there, I'm going to close it again. What the heck? So from there it is. So you can see there, let's see what's left over there. Did we do the heating oil? I think we did the heating oil. Yeah, there's the heating oil. It's trying to lift up also, same situation. And the weekly is in a sell. Just in other words, there's not a lot of conviction. There's Robin there. It's extremely hot in the growing areas. Yeah. And, we're going to be getting the 90s tomorrow. What is that? 37 Celsius or something like that. We're going to be up in there, 35 Celsius. The next couple of days we'll be in the high 30s in the Celsius. And maybe a little bit drier weather. It's a bumper crop. That's what it really is. Everywhere I go, I see fields that look like they could yield, 65, 75 bushels an acre. That's a lot. Normally, but soybeans are very odd compared to wheat and corn. Wheat and corn are almost cookie cutter. They're consistent. They yield over 200 bushels of corn an acre, sometimes 210. But soybeans, sometimes they'll yield 35 to 40 bushels an acre, and then sometimes they'll yield 65, 75. That's a big difference. It's a 35% difference, whereas it's not even like a 3% difference when it comes to corn. Wheat is more consistent too. It's like corn. They're going to yield 70, 80 bushels of wheat, an acre, and they're consistent like that. Between the mid 70s and 80s, they're going to be consistent. But that soybean can be really, really odd. One moment you're yielding 35 bushels to the acre, the next moment you're yielding 75 bushels to the acre. It's like, what? It's like a 50% difference. And all the plants look really good. The GMOs have really, mastered this weather season, that's for sure. Let's see now. I guess what we should do is we should start thinking about a title. That's what I guess I got to figure is out the Dallas Fed, sausage demand rises in weak economy. Oh, instead of like beef. Interesting. That's an interesting headline. It's always funny to see the things we see. Yeah, so we should come up with a title too today. How would we start off? Let me think how we started off. What were we talking about at the very beginning? Just the yen, the calming down Japan and China, Fed. I guess we could say something like we mentioned it mildly, not as intense as we were yesterday. We're going to say Fed supports Japan. Let's see. Let's go like this. Put some dots in there. And China. Because I do know that the Fed has been involved with them. I've been hearing that. So that's going to be our title today. And we talked about it. We showed the Shanghai. And let's take a look at the Nikkei. Let's see what the Nikkei was doing. I mean, the Nikkei's been responding very well to the situation. Where is it at? World markets, world indices, that's it. And let's see if we can find it. And that'll be a good way of going out, looking at the Nikkei. Show you there's the Taiwanese market, just for interest. See, it's been coming back up nicely from that sell-off they had. And tomorrow what we'll do is we'll get our beta going again. Let's see if it finds it. Let's see. NKI. It's a 225, I think. It must be on the screen here. That's why they keep on throwing it back to that. It must be one of these world indices. That's why the screen, the platform keeps on trying to tell us it's here. Just look. We're trying to look. World indices. Let's try it that way again. Usually they're right next to the Kospi, the South Korean index. There's the Kospi. Where's the Nikkei? Maybe it's down at the bottom. I think that's what it was. Not there. Let's punch in it this way. Japan. Yen, yen, yen. Why do they need to show us 2 yens? stock index. Boy, is it elusive or what? Sometimes they get, I guess, it must be doing something sloppy and they don't want to show it. It's amazing, the amount of, blockage of information. And I put it up on the beta there last Friday. It was something 225. Let's see if we can do it this way. 225. Let's see if I can find the name of it. Just to send this out. Looks like we're at 26 already, so we're past the time. But I would love to put the Nikkei up there before we leave. There it is, the Japan. Okay, there we go. So you can see here, 6 months. You can see it's bouncing back up. Oh, you can't see that. Here we go. Let's show it to you. And then we're going to sing our way out of here. There it is right there. The Nikkei's moving back up. And it's been kind of quiet. But bouncing. Well, now that they got that big, $1 trillion problem parked, it's like, well, not bad. There you go. It's at 38,000. There's a 6 month. So, traders, we will catch you all tomorrow. Same time, same channel. We'll be happy to hump day. So, happy trails to you until we meet again tomorrow. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. And we'll show you tomorrow our math on these products. We'll sign in and on the old beta and we'll take a look at them. So, ta-ta for now.